His name is Mitch Garnett.
I want you out of the park.
What are you hassling me for? Don't treat me like I'm some kind of junkie. I'm a vet.
I want you out of the park now.
He's fighting back for everyone who was ever pushed too far.
Well, let's not have any stupid mistakes, okay? I don't want anybody to get hurt, and nobody will get hurt if we do everything my way.
He's unpredictable.
We are certain that a band of well-coordinated, well-trained guerrillas is responsible.
Unconventional.
I am the individual who controls the park.
It's one guy. One guy.
And completely unstoppable.
What are you doing in here?
You got something to say? You want to tell people something? You want the world to know about this? Let me get it on tape, and I'll make sure it's seen.
I am staying in this park until 9 o'clock Wednesday night.
We will remove him before the deadline.
They wanted him out of the way.
I'm getting you out of here in first light.
Give me a break. We're both dead and you know it.
Now, he's out of control. Tommy Lee Jones is a one-man revolution, and he's going to war against the city of New York.
Hey everyone, welcome to Combat Radio. Back with us is resident legend Jeremy Ratchford from Cold Case, Unforgiven, Jersey Boys. Hundreds of movies and TV appearances. Today we're going to talk about a special one we know, well, at least I know and love. Ratchford may have a different opinion, but we're about to find out. And this is the 1986 classic, The Park Is Mine, which feels like a Rambo script, like it should have been Rambo 3, maybe. But it's a fantastic, fun movie in every schlocky way possible. It's one of my fun favorites. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I have many opinions on this and ideas.
Let's lay the groundwork on the movie real quick. I'm not sure if this is a good movie or a bad movie. This is just a fun movie that I like watching. The audience has to be the judges. They always should be, whether they like the movie or not. Vietnam vet on the edge, really representing like the veterans of the time in a kind of a classic way, because we all grew up on the shadow of Vietnam. And this was one of those anthem movies of, I can't keep a job, I can't keep my marriage together, I can't keep respect, I can't do anything right, but there is one thing I'm trained to do, and I was never deprogrammed, so I can lay siege to a thing. And I have to admit, I love these types of setups. So he gets pushed over the edge. A friend of his dies, commits suicide in what is a great stunt fall. One of the better ones I've seen, actually. And this friend is also a Vietnam vet who was dying of cancer, and he has since mapped out a strategy to take over Central Park. So a letter falls to Tommy Lee Jones.
Watching him for years, and I went back through his stuff, like 80, like he did 25 episodes of One Life to Live.
Yeah.
He was on a soap early.
Yes, he was.
And then I saw he had a credit on Beretta and Charlie's Angels. I want to go back and find those. I always love finding, some of the early episodic stuff to kind of go, yeah, we all start somewhere.
Yeah, we do.
It's just the way he can clip some dialogue is incredible. Yeah. And he holds that whole, as you said, the displaced Vietnam vet that comes back, and what's the line where he says, I sneak into places, blow up shit, and kill people. And then he comes back, and the next day he's getting a Slurpee at 7-Eleven. And it was that decade of trying to find the voices for so many of these American men that went over there, came home and got shit on, and then had to just kind of assimilate back into society like nothing happened. And and he plays that. And again, this was 2 years after First Blood, which was another, those great like Johnny ain't got no legs, and all those things where giving real weight to what they went through and trying to have people understand them. It's great work, and as you said, they're great themes for movies.
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones certainly sells this, and this was a double feature for us between this and another classic, Black Moon Rising, which we'll talk about in a minute for those who can stand the excitement. But Tommy Lee Jones really does play this well, and it is part of like a barrage of movies that came out to sort of help us understand sort of the struggle in a theatrical sense, but also sort of win a war that was perceived as lost for those of us that grew up in this time period. And I mean, it was both lost on the battlefield and the generation was lost for fighting it in a sense. But what I love is that this movie, there's no countdown. This movie flips the switch 4.5 minutes in when he discovers an arsenal with like rocket launchers and, armor piercing rounds and all kinds of armaments. And that's a great device that the filmmakers use where all the groundwork is done by a character who's already done it, dies at the top of the movie or commits suicide, and has a blueprint that gets to another friend. So they don't have to waste any time showing Tommy Lee Jones' character finding his inner conviction. Should I do it? Should I not do it? It's like, it's already done. We have the armaments and we've laid them out all across what happens in the movie, if you haven't seen it, is he mines Central Park to lay siege to it. So for Veterans Day weekend, everyone's out as sort of a monument. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I realize we haven't actually told anyone who hasn't seen this what this movie's about.
I had this plan to make people listen.
Just in that note, like there's a great use of the voiceover.
Yes.
When he's discovering the grenade launcher, like you get to see him discover all the weaponry.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have to say anything because there's a voiceover of the letter that his friend wrote him saying, I did this. It took me a year. I came in at night. I got mugged twice. They mugged a vet. So it's just piling and piling and piling up. But that's when you get, like, I think it said in the beginning too, it's from a book. So
yeah, it's based on a book.
Probably in the book got much more detail about how this guy made the connection to say, you know what, because he puts all these bombs and whatnot. He said not to hurt people, but just to make some noise and to make some smoke. And he very, very specific about the yellow clips are safe, the red ones are live. And it's a very good use of what he does with the live, because as he says a couple times in the movie, I don't want to hurt anybody, and I could have.
Right.
But then the other thing I thought was funny, the one thing that took me out, I never knew that 2 rolls of barbed wire spread 40 feet across could just stop everything.
All right, so we're jumping right to the fun of this. And first of all, I love a fast start in a movie. I got to give the filmmakers props, and I think it goes that way in the book based on what I remember, but they jump right into it, and he's good to go. And that's going to come into play later. There's lethal rounds and there's non-lethal, and that's obviously so he can make the DEFCON 1 switch at some point when the government's pushed him just a little too far. It's coming. Yeah. It's coming. They're not deceptive. They know that he's going to, at some point he's going to be set up against a bureaucratic machine that the audience is also going to want taken down. And they do that.
Hello, my name is Simon Williamson. Help us find a cure for NMOSD, neuromyelitis optica spectrum disorder, and with it, cancer. Please go to the Guthrie Jackson Foundation and donate if you can.